It's summertime, a good time for shaping a young cherry tree. I follow a very rigorous method supported by science-based research. This method involves 5 steps: disinfect, assess, reduce, pin down, and assess again. That's right, it's the DARPA method for the connoisseurs. So the first step is to disinfect all the tools that will be used. Cherry trees are susceptible to various diseases, so this is an important step to reduce the risk of contaminating the tree. Summer is a good time for shaping a cherry tree because the weather is usually drier, which further reduces the risk of fungal infections. At this time, I'm not concerned with optimal fruit production. My cherry tree was planted 2 years ago, and my main goals for the time being are to structure the tree and to limit its growth rate, as the space in my garden is quite limited. The second step is to assess the current situation. This is the tree last summer, a year ago. It's a Lapins cherry tree. It's a sweet cherry cultivar which has some disease resistance. Early that spring, a rabbit chewed on its bark, and I had to cut it back down to half the size it was then. All the green branches you see were produced in just a few months. I got the tree from a big box store, so it's highly probable it's on a standard rootstock. It's a vigorous grower. On a standard rootstock, this tree can reach a mature height of 20 feet and a spread of 15 feet. So I'll have to stay diligent if I want to keep it at a more manageable size in my small garden. This is the tree earlier this summer. The branches that I bent down last year have become more upright, and a bunch of new branches are shooting straight up from the center of the tree. The third step is to reduce the size of the tree and re-establish an open center shape. An open center shape is better for the airflow through the tree, which helps further reduce the risk of diseases. An open center shape also lets more sunlight in, which is better for the ripening of the cherries. First, I prune the branches that are growing straight up or towards the center of the tree. It's preferable to prune a cherry tree when dry, sunny conditions are expected for the next couple of days. Another branch going straight up and towards the center. This one clearly has to go too. Next, I'm getting rid of branches that cross over other branches. These two branches look parallel, but they will eventually cross over. I'm getting rid of the smallest one. Another branch crossing over other branches. By the way, cuts that remove a whole branch are called thinning cuts. Another situation with two parallel branches. Again, I'm keeping the main branch and I'm getting rid of the smallest one. This branch is too vertical for my taste. Off you go. Another situation with parallel branches. To decide which branch to keep, I imagine what the branches would look like if they were bent down. Now it starts to look more like an open center. Usually people recommend to keep only 3 to 4 main branches. I kept more than that here, but I might change my mind. Here are all the branches that I just pruned. They are about 3 feet long. All new growth produced in less than 2 months. The fourth step is to pin down the branches. For this, I'm using the post of the cage I built to protect the tree against rabbits. One screw can be used to tie down multiple branches. It's important not to bend the branch too much or it could snap. It's easier to bend and shape the branches when they are young and green. Also, I like to attach the branches with a loose loop at the end of the string instead of making a tight knot. More on this later. The key to avoid slippage of the loop is to place it next to a leaf with a curvature that is almost horizontal at that point. The fifth step is to assess again and repeat. After 2 weeks, the bark of the branches has become thicker. Ants and aphids have taken over almost all the tips of the branches. It's okay, as I'm going to make hidden cuts. Yes, pruning is also an effective way of managing pests. By the way, you may want to check out my insect shots playlist, where I document my struggle with ants and aphids on this cherry tree. I'm going easy on them for now, as they actually help me manage the growth rate of this fast-growing tree. I'm reducing the length of the branches by about 50%. I missed this one when I first thinned the branches 2 weeks ago. Another branch I missed the first time around. Or maybe things are clearer now, after all the pruning and bending. I told you I could change my mind. I tried to make clean cuts, but with tender wood, this can happen. I have to finish the job with scissors to avoid further damage to the branch. Another branch I missed the first time. Or maybe it grew in less than 2 weeks, I'm not really sure. I like to see the bending has an iterative process. If I can further bend a branch, I'm going for it. With a loop at the end of the string, it's easy to move the attach point further down. I only need to remove some leaves. Well, I mean, it's easy when your other hand is not holding a camera. Okay, I think I'm done with this tree. If you found this video useful or interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe, or drop a comment.